Part 2. Jetzt fahren wir endlich los. Wir sind in London. Das ist eben die Themse Cruise. Schaust du bitte, Katja, noch was, wann wir jetzt gestartet sind? Dass wir jetzt wissen, wann? Jetzt haben wir nochmal das Boot. 58? 15:58. Gut, also wir sind jetzt kurz vor 16 Uhr gestartet. Das ist Big Ben. Es geht recht langsam voran. Interessant. I eat rubbish. So some muesli auf die Themse.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome aboard the City Alpha for your cruise this afternoon down to Tower Hill. And just as we leave the piers here on the River Thames, we're required by law to give you a short safety announcement. Nothing to alarm you in any way, just a requirement by law that we do so. It's just to let you know that the boat that you're travelling on today, the City Alpha, is fully equipped with all the latest and up-to-date life-saving equipment on board. It's all identified around this boat using the international green and cream signs. Emergency exits there at the front and the back of this boat, and they're also identified using the international symbols as well. All crew are fully trained and qualified, so you are in safe hands. Toilet facilities, they are located at the back of this boat. If you have any smokers on board today, you can do so on the top deck, right at the back of the boat only. And if this safety announcement has alarmed anyone in any way, then on a lighter note, we do have a fully licensed bar down in the lower saloon. It's go see our lovely cabin crew and they'll be able to help you out there. It is 5 o'clock somewhere in the world, after all, ladies and gentlemen. Now we do have a couple of options for you today as well. Option number 1, there's an automated guide system on board this boat. It is a machine on board that I can press play on and it will give you the automated commentary
To jest eine Attraktion in
for your
London.
journey down to the tower.
Ist vielleicht keine gute Idee, sich für die rechte Seite entschieden zu haben. Das links ist vielleicht auch spannender. Wir können uns immer noch durchsetzen, wenn wir das wollen.
Option number 2 is I can stay on the microphone with you all for your journey down to the tower. I can give you a live commentary along the way. Just on a show of hands now, would everyone like option 2, the live commentary on the way down to Tower here? About 2 people. Alright then folks, I'll give you my best shot. I'm not a professional tour guide, I'm only a crew member here on board this boat to keep you safe and get you from point A to point B. So if I do get anything wrong, please feel free to keep it to yourselves. Now over to our left we have the stone Egyptian obelisk, Cleopatra's Needle. And Cleopatra's Needle, it is the oldest thing that you'll see here in London today. It's even older than London itself. That needle is over 3,500 years old. Now they do build them in pairs. We have this one here on the left hand side on the Victoria embankment here in London. And the sister needle to that one, it resides in Central Park, New York City. Now the bridge that is in front of the boat, it is the Waterloo Road Bridge, and it is commonly called here in London as the Ladies' Bridge, as while the men, they were away fighting in World War II, the women, they stayed behind to rebuild London. Now this bridge here, it was built using an 80% women workforce, and they used a Portland stone to build this bridge, and it's a self-cleansing stone. You can see how nice and clean the sides of it are compared to how dirty the underneath is. So when it rains here in London, that bridge it will receive a thorough wash. But ladies, you will be pleased to know, it even stands now still to this day, that this bridge here, it is the only bridge ever to be made on time and under budget. So well done to the ladies. Now over to our left, the stone building with the green dome on top. And that there, it is Somerset House. Now before we had the internet, this was where the death, marriage and birth certificates were once held here in London. That building, it quickly earned its nickname, the Hatcham, the Matcham and the Dispatcham building. It's now an art gallery on this side of the river. I think someone's river might speak. West Wellington, and it was part of the New Zealand War Fleet, and it's now permanently moored here in London as a floating livery hall. Now, if you don't know what I mean by the word livery hall, that's okay. It's just a fancy word for a drinking club for master mariners. Now, to become a master mariner, you have to be a captain of a sea-going vessel for a minimum term of 25 years. It's a very prestigious club, and the head of that club is our newly crowned king, King Charles. We usually see him and Camilla on the front of the boat reenacting the Titanic scenes after they've had a few. Now over to the right we have the orange brick building with the tower on top, and it is the Oxo Tower, once where the famous Oxo Cube was once manufactured. It's now home to the Harvey Nichols restaurant on top, which is one of the top 10 rated restaurants here in London. We have some unaffordable housing in the middle and a row of shops along the bottom. Now, it is illegal to advertise on the banks of the River Thames, as it is a royal waterway, and Oxo, they was taken to court for this matter. They said it's a complete coincidence that their branding ended up in that tower, and it does indeed light up red. Somehow they was awarded the case, and they've had over 70 years of free advertisement here on the River Thames. Now the bridges that we are approaching now, the group of Blackfriars bridges. We have a road bridge first, and then a rail bridge second. Now when we clear the archway of the Blackfriars road bridge, in between the two bridges you'll notice some red columns that span the river from left to right. And these red columns, they are the foundations and supports for the very first railway bridge here in London, the St Paul's Railway Bridge. It was used by a steam train, and it connected London, Chatham and Dover together. They took the top of it off as modern day trains. They were too heavy for these supports, and they've not removed the supports in fear of upsetting the foundations of the other two bridges.
Ich kann mich erinnern, ich bin auch damals mit dem Gerhard eben da auf der rechten Seite da an der Themse vorbeigelaufen, wo die Leute da jetzt eben gehen. Gell? Und da gibt es eben sehr viele Restaurants. Da kann man sich schon hinsetzen bei schönem Wetter, gibt es auch nette Terrassen. Und ich kann mich erinnern, dass wir da eben gegessen haben oder was getrunken haben. Ich glaube sogar da in dem Paulusarm. Ganz nett zum Herumlaufen eben an der Themse entlang.
It stands at 365 feet tall, a foot for every day of the year. That dome, it is the second largest unsupported dome anywhere in the world. It took 35 years to construct this building. Now, if you'd like to visit this building, I'd recommend going on a Sunday to watch a church service in there. And it's a very special building to go watch a church service in as well. Now, once the service is finished, you'll see a man walking around with a silver tip bucket asking for donations. And where it is a church, a very quiet environment, they do encourage a silent donation. Now, if you don't know what I mean by that, some 5, 10, 20, and if you enjoyed it that much, even £50 notes in their silver tip bucket for the St Paul's Cathedral Church service. Now in front of the boat and on the right hand side we have the white building with the timber frames and the thatched roof. That there, it is the replica of Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. It's the only building that you'll see here in London today with a thatched roof. Because after the Great Fire of London, all thatched roofs, they were banned. But this building here, it has been made fireproof. Now you can go see live shows in this building, and the last time we checked the tickets, they cost just £5, which is not bad value for money for live entertainment here in the city of London. So if we do have any Shakespeare fans on board this boat today, I'd highly recommend going to the Globe Theatre, see one of his famous plays being acted out in their traditional fashion. So there is no stage lighting, there's no microphone like I'm using, there is also no toilets and umbrellas, they are banned. Now if you did want to go see a live show in that building, I have one bit of advice for you all. Please check the weather before you go. Do not go on a day when it would rain, otherwise you would get wet. It's an open air theatre after all. Now over to our right hand side now, we have the brown brick building with the red windows, and it is the Anchor Pub. And there has been an Anchor Pub on this site since 1615. Shakespeare himself, he used the attic of these pubs as a dressing room. That's where they're building the new structure just over there to the right. That was where the original Globe Theatre once stood. Now the Anchor Pub has also starred in some movies during its time as well. Just to name a few: James Bond, Mission Impossible, and Getting to the Greek. So many famous people have been in that pub as well. And me and the captain included will be in there at 9 o'clock this evening conducting our research for these very commentaries. You're all more than welcome to come and join us. Over to the right, just in between the two buildings there, you'll notice the pirate looking ship in the dock, and that there, it is a working replica of Sir Francis Drake's